Well, welcome back. Joining us to share her journey is an old friend to Fox 24 News Now. I want to welcome back Meredith Poston, an accomplished artist, wife, and she was just elected as Commissioner Secretary for the James Island Public Service District, who also lives with epilepsy. Well, first of all, welcome back.
Thanks.
It's great to have you. So we just spoke with a lady who started a foundation, an organization to bring more awareness to epilepsy. And I think I became more aware of it because of you and I becoming friends and connecting over social media. You would often publish when you would have certain episodes, and you're very candid about it. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what your journey has been when you were diagnosed with epilepsy and what life is like today.
Well, epilepsy is something that it changes very much depending on person to person. It can just be, it varies quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, mine is located deep in the hippocampus of my left temporal lobe, which is this portion of the brain. And because of where it's located, my doctors, who are some of the top neurologists in the country, they were unable to detect exactly where it was or what was affecting me and how it was affecting me. I've been seeing the head of neurology at MUSC since 2009. Mm-hmm. It's been hard for them to be able to find what was causing it and how.
That's amazing.
And so I've been on lots of different medications. In 2009, February of 2009, is when I went in for my first video EEG, which is a brain monitoring system where they put different monitors all over your head. They put those on and they try and read where, do sleep deprivation, all the sorts of things that can trigger different seizures. For me, it's all sorts of different things: stress, sleep, insomnia, food. It differs from person to person.
That's interesting. So obviously that forces you to almost change your lifestyle in a way to deal with certain things that come into your life in a different way, so you don't get stressed out.
Yes.
Interesting. But your husband has been such a source of support and quite a lifesaver, quite literally. I just want to bring our audiences to present day for a moment, because just a couple of weeks ago you were rushed to MUSC because your husband detected that there was something different about this seizure. What happened?
So I've had a couple of different brain surgeries. I had a laser ablation. I was actually the 6th person that Dr. Vandergrift, who's one of the head neurosurgeons at MUSC, did a laser ablation, and the 7th person at MUSC to get laser ablation, which is where they go in through your skull and then do.
I think
laser.
I remember this. Yes,
Yeah.
You documented it through Facebook, which
Facebook.
Yes.
And then I had a lobectomy, which is the most commonly known. I had to shave my head. They go in, remove part of the skull, remove part of the brain, and that's when they found it was much more of an affected area than they realized.
Wow.
So I went from having tonic-clonics every month to I've had like 2 since my lobectomy. And then, a couple weeks ago, I had a few simple partial seizures, which my husband's used to. I still have those fairly routinely. And I had a couple of those, and then I started to go into tonic-clonic mode. And he knew there was something, he knew I was going into that, but it was like, okay. So he pushed me on my side and just was like kind of rubbing my back, making sure I was okay. And then I fell back asleep. But then I went back into tonic-clonic mode a few minutes later, and it was something different. And he's been with me since February 2009 is when we met. So,
oh my goodness.
So when this is happening, it's like, okay, this is 13 years of knowing this woman, seeing these seizures, this is different. And he called 911.
And it saved your life. You were
did.
rushed to the hospital and they were able to treat you. So for someone who's having a seizure, and maybe you can just briefly tell us, when you see someone who's having a seizure, I imagine that you are not verbal, you can't express. Do you know that you're having a seizure when you're going through one?
It depends which one. The 3 I have, simple and complex partials, I'm aware going into. But the tonic-clonics, the grand mals, I remember going into the first one because of like this sputtering And
so you do recall some of that experience.
The beginning, and it differs from person to person. But for me, because of where the affected area is located in my brain, and I draw to the right. So, and then, you know, I start like making different noises. So he can tell, okay, she's having a seizure. But again, this one it escalated quickly and in a different way.
And the whole point of this is to get our audience understanding what a seizure looks like, not to ignore it if someone complains of terrible headaches or something like that, to make sure that they either call for help or they know what to do.
Yeah.
And so, Meredith, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
And we look forward to just seeing your path and hopefully things getting better for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the wonderful people at MUSC continuing to do their great work.
MUSC is wonderful, and yeah, I think you know, all the first responders. If it weren't for the JIPSD firefighters getting into my house when they did, and my husband knowing to call as soon as they did, I would not be here today. So
Well, we're glad you are.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
So
Meredith.
glad to know you.
Glad to know you
All right.
too.
Well, thank you.
We're back after this.